Hey everyone, welcome back. And it's great to be here with Claudette. Claudette, before we kind of jump ahead and really talk about the role of mindset, can
Mhm.
you tell folks the best way they can find out more about you? What happens if they're hearing the show and they're thinking, I would love to bring her into my company? What's the best way for those folks to go about that?
Sure. Thanks, Pat. So the website is culturalbrilliance.com. And there's a contact form on there, my phone number, my email address. And I'd absolutely love to chat with anybody who's interested in having me come in or finding out how we might be able to work together. I'd be happy to help.
Mhm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And we've got a lot more to talk with Claudette about as this radio series continues to unfold brilliantly, if I might say. Uh, and I love this next topic here. I love being able to hear how you talk about the role of mindset in conversation, because we talk a lot about mindset, but we rarely talk about mindset when we're talking about talking. Why do you think that is?
It's interesting. It's when I've worked a lot with mindset over the past couple of years in a
Mm-hmm.
more public way. And before that, in my coaching, executive coaching work, I would talk
Mm-hmm.
about mindset all the time with individuals. And I think for a long time, it was this word that people thought it was a little too fuzzy. Oh, it's too fuzzy. What you talking about mindset? We could talk about that in coaching privately, but I don't know if we want to talk about that publicly with the team. It seems to be gaining a little more public recognition now as an important
Yeah.
piece. Carol Dweck wrote a book called Mindset several years ago. She's a professor at Stanford and really put this idea of mindset on the map based on her research. And I think we forget to talk about the fact that mindset is by and large driving most of our conversations because what we're thinking about, what we believe, the assumptions we're making aren't always conscious and we're not always aware of them. And they'll drive a lot of how we're reacting, particularly if we've gotten upset at all, we're feeling stressed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's now even a fairly common term, right?
Yeah.
Where in the past, mindset was not really discussed. The synonym, I guess, or the way people talked about this was attitude. And
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about attitude, it's like a hot button word. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you know this and I know this. You talk to somebody about their attitude, and your HR would say to you, wait a minute, that's not a measurable thing to put on anybody's performance review, attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think those two, attitude and mindset, get confused, but I'm not quite sure they're the same. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
I don't think they're the same either. They have, of course, some overlap. Attitude tends to be more, you have a positive attitude, you have a negative attitude. Really, it's how you're coming across externally to other people. Whereas mindset is, as it sounds, is in your mind, and that's not always obvious to other people. And if you think about it, it may not be obvious to you, until you stop and reflect. But the mindset's about I think of it as it's like your own little inner culture. So we think about, culture and organizations as, what are our assumptions and what are we believing about what the organization values and expects. And mindset's is kind of an individual internal aspect of that. Our mindset is what are our assumptions? What are our beliefs? What are our values? And that's rolling in our mind all the time. And it's driving a lot of what we say or do. And if I like to work with teams on mindset, because if you can get a team to recognize what their mindsets are around a particular project or a change or anything like that, then you can start to understand how there might be people on a team working at cross purposes. And it's not that we
Yeah.
want to, of course, control anyone's mindset, but it's the idea of the team saying, hey, what would be the best mindset for all of us to adopt, generally speaking, as we move forward on this particular project? Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is really a new dialogue, which is less of a hot button for people, too. It's less of a hot button. And when we talk about mindset and the way that you phrase this, the role of mindset in conversation, what people then get to understand is, oh, wait a minute, mindset has a role. And so here we go, Claudette. My question, what is that role?
The role is that it is the way I say, at least, culture's driving what happens in organizations, whether we are aware of it or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mindset is driving what we're doing in our conversations, our communications, and actions throughout the day, whether we're aware of it or not. Right. So that's what the role of mindset is that if I have a, mindset that's diametrically opposed to someone else's mindset in the conversation, and we're not haven't thought about our mindsets, or we don't have the self-awareness to connect to them, then we might have a conflict that didn't need to happen because we're just coming from such vastly different perspectives. And no one's perspective is wrong. It's just that we haven't articulated and named that, hey, my perspective is this and your perspective is that. And if we knew that about each other, it'd be so much easier to communicate and resolve this.
Yeah. And isn't it less of a conflict idea, right? If we sit down, it's almost as if we can talk about mindset as if it were not, quote, personal, right? Meaning that, listen, if we had a mindset of abundance, wow, look at what we could do, right? So how do you help people understand this in a way where we're not judging? And this is really one of the keys. I mean, I know it's almost impossible not to judge, especially if we're talking about the day-to-day of culture. But we're talking about, again, the decoding, but now we're talking about decoding of mindset too. Or did I just make that up?
we're going along those lines. Absolutely. Right. Decoding a mindset. Yeah. I think mindset will drive. So this is a very stark example. And I actually saw this, I think on YouTube or something just in the last week. And it was a young woman, a college student, and it was really short. And she was holding up a sign that said, "I need feminism because when I'm at college, I'm still being told how not to get raped." That's the message of mindset versus the message of don't rape, which really should be, in my opinion, the message versus this is how to not get raped. And so that's a very stark example, but we can see that if we move either of those mindsets forward, we can see what the actions and behaviors of each might be. And so in organizations, it's not usually that stark necessarily, or the consequences aren't that dire, but you have a mindset of, team A's general mindset is, we're taking on this project, but we don't think it's really going to work and we don't want to do it. Already my voice is losing energy just talking like that. And then we have another team that's saying, hey, you know what? We like this project. This is pretty interesting. It's going to be a really good challenge. We hope we can get it done, but we're going to give it our all. That team is going to produce a completely different result, most likely.
Yeah.
Mindset.
It's really fascinating we're talking about this because I shared something at a meeting the other day where I was called out by one of my table tennis player buddies. And I was reminded that there is a mindset that you can play to win or you can play not to lose.
Oh, yeah.
They're not the same.
Right.
They're not the same.
Nope.
And I had a woman who was, I think she's like 83 years old. That was playing. Well, she was my partner playing. And she turned to me and she looked at me and she said, "Are you trying to win this game or are you just waiting for them to lose?" And I thought, holy cow, what am I doing? I mean, I wasn't even that self-aware, right? And I looked at her and she said, "I've seen you play. Why are you holding back?" But that was my mindset, right? So doesn't mindset then lead to behavior? In my case, it did.
I think mindset, yes, almost always leads to behavior, especially if you haven't connected the dots and become aware of it at a particular time. And that's true for all of us, that it will lead to behavior, just like my two-team example, right?
Yeah.
Team A that's not so enthused and doesn't think something's going to work. Yeah, they're going to do their efforts might be half-hearted. They might be good enough, but they're not going to put in that extra effort. They're not going to be as observant. They're not going to problem solve as creatively, right? That's their behavior. Team B that's going to give it their all and have some positivity and optimism about it. They're going to be more open. They're going to be more creative. They're going to put more energy into it, and that will reflect in their behavior. Yeah, and your table tennis example is a great one. Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to be playing with her tomorrow, and I will never forget her face. I will never forget that statement. But isn't that a perfect example of how what you're talking about, mindset, if we take the decoding piece, then we have that kind of feedback. I mean, I'm telling you, her face will forever be embedded in my mind. I don't think I will get out there tomorrow and slack not 1 minute. And, I don't think I'm an unusual example. Can't this really happen at work as well?
Absolutely. I think it happens at work all the time. And one of the great things we could do in organizations is to teach people just to be aware of their mindset and what we're actually talking about. So they could tune into that throughout the day. If they weren't sure, what is my mindset right now? Gosh, because I'm not, it could be to the positive. I'm putting so much energy into this. I'm really passionate about it. What's my mindset? Learn from that. I'm not putting as much energy into this. What's my mindset? And learn from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel open to this person. What's my mindset?
Yeah. Yeah. And, we're going to talk about this when we come back. I mean, it doesn't matter what organization, Claudette, right, that you're working in now. The idea of deadline and working fast is not the anomaly anymore. I mean, this is really the norm. There is little, if or no tolerance for working slow these days. And I'm just really eager to hear from you when we come back. Is how do we integrate this in the organization? Because we're really talking about conversations, changing culture, and changing the way we actually work, behave, and show up. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with Claudette Rowley. Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown.
What is a brilliant culture? And how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you design a culture that is authentic, innovative, and successful. Learn how to create change with Cultural Brilliance Radio, the DNA of organizational excellence, and Claudette Rowley. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit ClaudetteRowley.com. How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. You're